We're live.
Yes, we are.
And we are talking about
Our prophet.
our prophet did something special. Oh, we also have Vince here.
Yes, our boy.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Hi,
Good,
Vin.
good. You have a lot of background noise.
Oh my god, again? Jesus. Oh, wait, I know why. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
All right,
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
If you guys are not familiar, go subscribe to Vince's channel, The Babylon Project.
Yes.
Very
And you
good
also
stuff.
need to subscribe. I'm hearing echo. What the hell? Guys. Oh my gosh, so much background noise and so much echo. Guys, can we do this
Are you
right?
still getting an echo from me?
No, just from Vince. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna Vince, don't unmute yourself until it's fixed. Okay. So I'm gonna speak now. Oh yeah, I was gonna say our beloved prophet did something that I didn't think he would do.
Ever?
And yeah, and I mean not to this dedicating like 40 minutes to it, maybe like in passing or something, he would just say if somebody questioned him. I didn't think he's gonna. Okay, so here's the thing, okay? You know how I say that you can't tell people's intentions often unless they make it very difficult for you to be charitable to them, and sometimes very easy for you to make it charitable to them, right? So, like okay, hold on, this is important, okay? You know, sometimes people are like, oh, this guy is doing this for money or for fame or for they don't have the right intentions or they're grifters. And like, guys, just like, we don't know. We can't read minds. Let's just focus on the arguments only, okay? And let's be charitable and assume the best, right? And there are sometimes that some people, like, you want to be charitable to them and not guess their intentions. And then they do something, they like, you know, you're making it so difficult for me to be charitable to you, right? To your intentions, right? Like you're making it easier and easier. Like, I don't know, like somebody like Dave Rubin comes to mind, right? Right? But like, it just seems like, I mean, okay, so your ideas are moronic, but even if your ideas are moronic, I want to be like charitable to your intentions, but you're going beyond just having stupid ideas. You're making it very difficult to be even charitable to your intentions, right? But then we have the other side of that as well. The other side of it is that sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't care. You know, we can't know what your motivations are, but, you know, I don't even need to be charitable to you because you're doing things that makes it very clear that you really believe in this stuff and you're really doing this because you care. You know what I mean? And I feel like Apostate Prophet just did one of those things. Let me explain why, right? This is the second time he's done something like this, right? Because he'd been accused before of like going after Islam and not after other religions because he has an audience of anti-Islam people. You're going pixely, more and more pixely by the second, Susanna. Yeah, it's very interesting. Everybody, like Vincent with the audio and Susanna with the pixely. I'm the only person here that doesn't have any issues. What was I saying? See, this is. Oh yeah. So Apostate Prophet gets accused. Oh my god, you guys are so distracting. Like, I'm trying to make a point here, and both of you with the pixelation.
In my defense, I was told last second about this stream.
That's true.
Any of this, okay? All right, cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying the Apostate Prophet has been accused of, because the Apostate Prophet has a giant Patreon account and a lot of subscribers, okay? And a big portion of these patrons were people that are not into atheism. They're not into religion bashing. They were there to do what? To just hear, to see somebody, the main anti-Islam channel out there. Okay, if it's Apostate Prophet, the most successful one. Some people might say it's actually David Wood, and I think David Wood's channel, David Wood has a lot of disadvantages compared to the Apostate Prophet. I think a lot of people don't realize that not being a Christian makes the Apostate Prophet a much stronger anti-Islam channel than David Wood could ever be. Like, all the stuff that's in the Bible is like a major Achilles heel for any Christian to be able to effectively go after Islam without people be like, what are you talking about? Like, this stuff that you're saying, I know it's not the same, okay? I know Islam is a lot worse, but there is a version of everything. If you have a problem, not everything, a version of a lot of the problems that you have with Islam, it's in Christianity. I know it's not the same, but it's much easier to be able to go after Islam as an atheist than as a Christian, right? So in my view, the Apostate Prophet's YouTube channel is the number one anti-Islamic YouTube channel that is out there, right? The one that is leading the way, right? So you go out there and you create content against Islam, and you're attracting people from all sides. Atheists who want anti-Islam content, okay? They're like finding your channel. Christians who want anti-Islamic content, they're coming to you on your channel. And the oh my God, the Hindus who want anti-Islam content, they're coming in masses, right? And what does Apostate Prophet do? Like, he doesn't have to say anything against other religions or about his atheism. He could just ride this wave, right? He could just ride this wave. And honestly, like, nobody should have even, if he didn't even mention about his atheism, or like he took a few, when people came after me. So this is why I'm saying this is the second time, right? When Hindus came after me for my blaspheming against Hinduism, he stood up for me, and he even had me on his channel. And I was like, he didn't have to do that. Like, if he didn't do that, I would have understood, right? Like, he would like, listen, Armin, I know that these are other stuff that I agree with you with, but I have a mission here, and I don't want to compromise this mission. My focus is on going anti-Islam. I understand. And I would understand, but there are a lot of people out there that accuse Apostate Prophet of like just giving in to his community and not saying anything about other religions because of his patrons and stuff. But even though he didn't have to do that, he had me on his channel, and he lost subscribers and he lost patrons. And he was like, I don't care. I want to do this, right? I'm like, wow, okay. And he did it. And he lost. I mean, go look at the comment section of the episode that he had me on. It was like, people were like, what are you doing? Why do you have this guy on? I mean, his community turned on him. And he was like, I don't regret anything. But now he has a video on his channel, on a channel that a lot of people who believe in God, who hate Islam, okay? They're like, Apostate Prophet, just lay off God. Don't touch religion. That's not what I'm here for. Yeah, sure, you're an atheist. I think you're going to find Jesus one day or whatever. But I'm here for Islam, okay? I'm here for you as bashing Islam. And, Apostate Prophet is like, you know what? I need to be honest with you guys, right? I need to make a video telling you about my views about God. And again, I am so happy that he did that, especially because he can reach a lot of the people that watch his channel are people that we do not ever get to reach, because a lot of the people, well, not just me, like a lot of other, not just us, like atheist activists, right, as a whole, because these are people that are just anti-Islam, and they would never follow atheists who are questioning God, because that's like that, they don't want to question God. And now that their anti-Islam their desire for anti-Islam content now got them exposed to Apostate Prophet, making them at least consider atheism. Like, this is like all of a sudden the biggest anti-Islam YouTube channel is telling people who might have never heard it otherwise why somebody might not believe in God. So when it comes to our agenda, when it comes to spreading atheism, this was a huge win for us. But when it comes to the Apostate Prophet himself, I think this is like, to me, this is a move that makes me think like this guy is so principled, and he's in it for all the right reasons. Like, he's not like he's gonna lose support for this. There is no benefit. Like, this video, I do not understand. There is zero benefit to him. He made a video about why he's an atheist. Okay. And I cannot imagine what, like, he knows why his audience are on his channel. And he's not going to win anybody over for this. He's just only going to lose the Christians and the Hindus on his channel. So why would he make this? Do you know why, guys? Do you know why he would make this? Why is he making this? What do you guys think?
Well, people have been asking for him to make it for quite some time. He's been promising that he would make it for quite some time.
Yeah, but a lot of people also told him not to make it.
I think, he could benefit from just being honest with his audience and
that's it.
Speaking his truth.
Yeah, he's being honest with them. He's like, I'm not going to treat you like a bunch of pussies who cannot take the truth. He's going to be like, you guys are grown adults. I'm not going to be just treating you like a bunch of children that cannot take my position on this. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. This is what I don't believe in. And you're going to not support me if you don't like it? Well, he's never going to say it like this, but he's like, you could go get fucked if you don't like it. Like, this is what I am.
We're dropping big words today. That's what we're doing, Armin. We're dropping big words today.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just so grateful that again, and this is from a person that people were accusing. Apostate Prophet was being accused of just just throwing red meat at people who want anti-Islam content and not doing anything that would challenge his audience and not doing anything that might cost him subscribers on Patreon. And now he's doing the thing he's basically doing the opposite, complete opposite, right? He's doing something that benefits him. I can't think how this benefits him in any way other than lose him support, just for the sake of being honest with them, just for the sake of being transparent. We got a super chat. Oh no, we didn't. Confused. He didn't say go up. Yeah, it's for the sake of transparency and being honest to your audience, right? And I think it's a very, honestly, I also think this is by the way, have you guys seen Fox News and how a lot of people are abandoning ship because Fox News is deciding to tell their little children, like, guys, I don't think Trump is going to be president. And like, we can't, we don't want to listen to you anymore. Bye. Okay.
Oh, no.
So they're all leaving. You're like, guys, like, we just have to tell you the truth. I don't think Trump is going to be president. And they're all abandoning Fox now. So I think it's important, it's important to do that earlier on than Fox. Like, for example, Fox is now, a lot of people on Fox are I think they've already known that they have been they have a whole bunch of idiots following them, right? Like an army of morons were following them, and now this is going to be a major hit to them, losing them, because if you keep just feeding these zombies exactly what they want, at some point, once you have the boundaries of reality forces you to tell them something you don't want to hear, your entire empire is going to might fall apart. So while you're building up, maybe even if some people are following you, maybe you don't want them to follow you or support you if they're following you or supporting you for the wrong reasons, right? So just so that you could like still grow, but have a more stable growth than this whole yo-yoing, you know, because if all of a sudden you're building an empire and you are relying on the financial support of your patrons, if all of a sudden half of them leave, you're like, but I have expenses. I built we grown this much based on the money that is coming from these patrons, right? So maybe like just be like, guys, this is what I stand for from the early on. Okay, you might grow a little bit slower, you might get a little bit less money, but at least it's more reliable because these people know exactly where you stand, so they're not going to support you if they don't like your position. So you don't have to worry about half of them all of a sudden abandoning you if you're twice the size as what you're today. Did you highlight something? Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, and that's why one of the reasons why we blaspheme the way that we blaspheme is because we are consistently shaking off people who follow us for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. Oh, but I was just highlighting David, who said this is the longest prologue to any movie I've ever watched.
Right.
But what I really want to say though here is that myopically, it might be pretty disastrous towards your audience to do something like this, right? And the same thing that you guys do, you guys will probably scare off a lot of Hindu atheists, sure. But what this is doing in the long run, and this is what's beneficial in the long run, is you're basically building trust within your audience. So you are now being viewed, you and AP, of course, you guys are being viewed as someone that you can actually trust, because this grifter accusation gets thrown around so often that it's really hard to shake it off. So that, I think, is that even though, sure, myopically in the short run, it could be pretty bad towards your guys' subscriber count, but in the long run, what this is doing, it's building trust with the people. So people at least know that when they listen to you and when they hear what you're saying, they're pretty confident that you're being honest and that you're not trying to cater to a specific audience. So AP isn't catering towards a specific anti-Muslim audience anymore. And it's obvious about that. No, not anymore, but in general, he never was. Sure. And this makes that even more obvious. So there's trust building there. And I think that's really important, especially since, so many people in the quote unquote anti-woke community is basically getting that grifter accusation.
Yeah, and to be guys, by the way, I just want to be fair. You're not going to lose all your Hindutva and Christian following. A lot of them are going to be like, you know what, I don't agree with you, I'm going to stay. And those are the the exact same people we want. Like we have Muslims here, for example, that were like, I'm a Muslim, but I like you guys' take, and I'm going to stay here. We even have Trump supporters and Hindutva that follow this channel, and some of them support us, even though we constantly, crap on their ideas, right?
Or Hindutva, Hindu nationalists.
Yeah, we have Hindutva nationalist support, not just subscribers, but patrons. We have Trump supporting patrons who are here even after we call their ideas moronic, right? Yes. And those are the exact kind of people like, yeah, we don't want to we have Christian supporters, right? Yeah. An Atheist Republic, which is amazing. But those are the exactly, but they're here not because they're supporting us, not because we lied to them about what we stand for. They know we are against their ideas. We have been transparent about what we stand for. And after that, they decided to keep supporting us. And those are the exact kind of supporters we want. But let's look at this, okay? Again, I'm going to do different sections of this. So if you actually look at the video, right? So I think we're going to go up to the 11-minute mark. So why does it matter? What is God? And we're going to do geography and religion. And in 12 hours, I'm going to do this segment. Mm-hmm. And I'm very interested in Apostate Prophet's views on God and religion. So I'm going to make multiple sections and see if I agree with him, disagree with him. And yeah, by the way, we here are also very honest. Even if I like Apostate Prophet, I'm probably going to have a lot of disagreements here. But it would be very interesting because Apostate Prophet is an ex-Muslim atheist. I'm an ex-Muslim atheist. And I'm wanting to see now when I talk to Apostate Prophet about stuff that is not Islam, because if it's Islam related, I think somebody like me and Apostate Prophet would agree like 99% of the time, right?
Mhm.
But it's interesting for us, I mean, to see on just general God and religion related stuff, what are the things that we agree on and what are the things that we disagree on. So I'm gonna do multiple series of videos, I think, going through this entire 40-minute thing.
Deborah is saying it's so cute how Armin is so happy with this video. He's not as happy as how happy he was when he was seeing the new stats on how many Iranians don't believe in God. That was like Armin got 15 Christmases at once. He was like, let me say it one more time. Iran is a Muslim minority country. It's amazing.
No, but Deborah,
I think your biggest disagreement that you have with Apostate Prophet, and I think it'll be touched on in this video, is that you're an anti-theist and he isn't.
Right. No,
Although
but
he doesn't disagree necessarily with anti-theism, he just doesn't think it's important for himself to do.
You know, when this video popped out on my feed, you know, Deborah, the feeling you get, you know how when you watch pop culture, when you're watching a movie, like it has nothing to do with anything political or philosophical, and all of a sudden a main character takes a jab at religion, and you're like, you like rewind it and like, oh my, what? Like, you know, like, I don't know, like the doctor says, like, oh yeah, if there was a God, why is this? I'm like, oh my God, and you keep rewinding it, and like, oh, I need to write this down. What episode? What minute? And you're like, oh, this is great. Atheism is becoming normalized, right? So that feeling that I get whenever all of a sudden in pop culture there's some anti-theism line somewhere in the movie, I get so excited. I think that's the same feeling I had when Apostate Prophet, like, you're like, oh, another Apostate Prophet video. What is it about? Like, this is an anti-theism as a God.
No, this isn't anti-theist.
I know, but to me, this is okay. I know it's not. I know to Apostate Prophet, this is not anti-theism. Okay, to me, exposing your entire audience of people that would have never come to hear it from us about why somebody doesn't believe in God. These are people that are going to be like, at least a small percentage of this large audience is going to consider, like, you know, I can see why. I mean, I like Apostate Prophet and I'm still believing in God, but I see where he's coming from. I see his points. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's going to like sow the seed of doubt in a lot of these people. So as much as Apostate Prophet is not an anti-theist, this was anti-theism. Effectively, this is effectively anti-theism, because a lot of Christians and Hindus and other God-believing people who watch his channel are going to be exposed to some skepticism on God himself. Like, I mean, if this is not anti-theism, I don't know what is, right? This is the most effective way of doing anti-theism. But just be like, yeah. But anyways, Vince, you want to say something?
So does he not consider himself an anti-theist because of the people that's generally associated with, or just because he doesn't think it's that important right now?
It's because he doesn't think it's that important.
But if he agrees, yeah, I mean, you can disagree with the importance, but generally, if you agree with Armin is saying in regards to how harmful religion could be, I mean, I guess this goes into the, is language prescriptive or descriptive? I don't know.
He thinks religion is not as harmful as Islam as a whole. That's what he thinks.
Gotcha. So he's mainly focusing on Islam for pragmatic reasons.
Yeah. He's like, he thinks like Islam is like, I don't know, like a plague, but and other religions are like an itch that you might have on your neck, relatively, right? So
you didn't know it's because he's a secret Catholic jihadi?
Oh, secret.
It's because he's a secret Catholic jihadi.
You're projecting. Yeah.
No, Christian. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he can't anger his daddy David Wood. We all know this.
That's what. But for people who don't know, those are the accusations people make against them.
Yes, and AP said this himself, like literally.
Hi,
last-
everybody,
All right. Wait, can you guys hear this?
Yes.
Okay.
and welcome. This is me. Over the years, I have been repeatedly asked what I believe in, why I'm not a Christian, if I believe in God, whether I'm an atheist or not. And today I finally want to sit down and just talk about that. Not only for everybody who's been asking, but also maybe primarily for myself, because I feel like if I put all of this down and publish this video, I will feel a little bit more fulfilled. For a year, I have been wanting to make this video, but I felt like if I put everything down that I want to say about this, it will be many hours long. I tried it again and again, and I didn't know how to approach this topic. So today I just want to sit down and talk straight. I am an atheist, as mentioned before. I'm not agnostic about my atheism, so I am not the one who says that we do not or cannot know whether God exists or not. I would say that I am Gnostic, sure, in my atheism. So I certainly reject belief in God. I'm convinced that God does not exist. That said, mine is not a kind of positive,
Wait,
assertive atheism.
Wait. Yeah.
we got a super chat.
Yes, I know.
At Nyack saying boring class. For those who don't know, okay. he likes to trash talk us in the form of super chat. He's joking.
Yeah, it's.
And then
I like
Rakan
it.
saying, my favorite Nyack. I think he's my favorite Nyack too. Okay.
Wait,
no, but
so-
how excited was I when he said that he was Gnostic? I was like, oh,
Well, I
yes!
mean, not okay. So just to be fair, I'm an agnostic atheist towards deistic gods. I'm also a Gnostic atheist towards biblical and Quranic gods, right? So
like personal God.
yeah, any personal god. That yeah. So it depend. So agnostic depends on which god you're talking about. Deistic gods, you have to be an agnostic atheist towards that god. But all the other guys, Gnostic atheists. But then he said he's not a positive atheist, but isn't Gnostic atheism? Anyways, well, we don't want have to get hung in the semantics.
I certainly do not believe in God. I'm convinced that there is no God, but I also don't go ahead trying to preach to people that God does not exist. And
That's what
Okay,
he
so
means by positive atheist.
Hmm.
That's what he means by positive atheist.
But that's not what positive atheism means.
Yeah.
Just yeah. So positive atheism doesn't mean that you go and tell people that there's no God. Positive atheism is more in line with what he said earlier, which is being a Gnostic atheist. So he is a positive atheist. Yeah, there is nothing in the definition of positive atheism that requires you to go tell other people that you don't believe in God.
that God does not exist. That said, mine is not a kind of positive, assertive atheism. I certainly do not believe in God. I'm convinced that there is no God, but I also don't go ahead trying to preach to people that God does not exist. And
I don't like the word preach here because to me it suggests that there's something religious about telling people that there is no God. Because if we use the word preach, we could use that on telling people that Islam. I think when people use the word preach, they kind of are suggesting there's something negative about the advocacy that you're doing. And you could easily use, he said preach, didn't he?
Yes.
Right? You could easily use that on anything that you're telling people. For example, on why Islam is wrong, or why human rights matter, or why children are starving, or why animal rights activism, so any form of advocacy or raising awareness about an issue could be labeled as preaching if you do not like it. And I don't think that doesn't necessarily, because it's based on this understanding that preaching is negative, and then you associating a form of advocacy with preaching, you're taking a jab at it without necessarily saying why it's the wrong thing to do, right?
Mhm.
I mean, to me, first of all, we don't go to people to tell them why we don't think there is a God. We say it on our own platforms, and people come to us, right? But people describe it as preaching anyways. But if that could be described as preaching, what form of advocacy is not preaching then?
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, literally everything would basically be preaching. Veganists would be preaching. People who make videos about philosophy and argue for one political side over the other are preaching. When I think of preaching, I usually think of, as you said, priests trying to sell you religion. They're trying to recruit you into their group. And that's why I have that negative connotation with preaching. And so I don't like it when people say atheistic preaching. Sure, there are probably some obnoxious and abrasive atheists out there that walk up towards a church or something. I'm sure they exist. But generally speaking, someone like Cosmic Skeptic or someone like Genetically Modified Skeptic aren't doing that. As you said, they have their own platform, and they're using that platform to just have philosophical conversations, especially Cosmic Skeptic. He's not actually anywhere near as abrasive as someone like Christopher Hitchens is. He's pretty cordial. So to say that someone like Cosmic Skeptic is preaching atheism, I think is pretty silly. So I don't like it when people use that word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's silly per se, but yeah, because I mean, people say that about. I mean, I've heard it so many times, but I'm just saying that it's just. I think it. I think it's people use it on something when they think it's too much. You're saying it too much, but I don't think people apply that to the things that they care about, right? I think it's just a very subjective. I think when somebody is talking so much about something they care about that you don't care about as much as a form of advocacy, then you sing it as preachy, but then you don't apply the same standard to something you care about, and you think it's justified to go out and advocate about it. But that's what I think. Yeah.
Right. I mean, at that point, I would say the word preachy is kind of like pointless, because you would just apply that to anything that people sort of hammer on about over and over again. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Yes.
That this is a lie, that there is no deity. What matters to me is that I don't believe. And maybe I'm close to what is called agnosticism or non-cognitivism, where the thought is that the question, does God exist, is rather irrelevant or a meaningless question, because the word God itself does not carry any proper meaning.
Well, that's why we define what mean. Okay, so God means to most people a conscious creator of the universe, and I think the fact that I think it does matter a lot. The reason, I mean, it does matter for the simple reason that most people believe in a conscious creator of the universe, right?
Exactly.
Like, for example, the idea of leprechauns being real or not doesn't seem like a very important question to me at all. Like, first of all, they don't, but why would we even have a discussion about that? That doesn't seem like an important debate. But if all of a sudden, not 1 billion, okay, not even 500 million, not even 100 million, okay, just 2 million. If you showed me, like, Armin, there are 2 million people out there on the planet that seriously believe leprechauns are real, and like, okay, this is what the hell? Like, we need to address this. Like, that's a sign of some problem. People, how are these people are evaluating reality and coming up to conclusions, right? I feel like, imagine there's 2 million people that seriously believe that the leprechauns with, like, with the treasure and the rainbow thing and the coins and all and the wishes and all of that is real. That would be like that would be an issue that we need to address. Like, people are morons and they don't even know how to evaluate reality. So to me, it's a very important question to address now. Okay.
Well, yeah,
So,
it's like
but
why palm reading is so harmful, or tarot
No,
cards.
it doesn't even have to be harmful by its own. The fact that, like, let's say it's completely harmless. The fact that people believe in it is indication of an issue of people not knowing how to evaluate reality. Even if the belief by itself doesn't cause any harm, it indicates that there is a problem. Do you know what I mean? So if that would be a sign of a problem to me, then how many billions of people believe in God? And God, by God, we're talking about a conscious creator of the universe. So the fact that the fact that most of this planet, not just like millions, not hundreds of millions, not even 1 billion, the fact that billions of people, in fact, the vast majority of this planet, believes that there's a conscious creator for everything, and they have zero good reasons to believe in it, and they have no evidence for it. I mean, if that is not a thing that you want to worry about, if that is not a sign to you that we have to address this, I don't know. I mean, is there not only to me that not only that's not just an important question, to me it seems like it's one of the most important questions of how do we live on a planet that this many people are this detached from reality, from objectively analyzing what is true or not. Like it's really high up there based on but these standards. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm an anti-theist.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world. The fact of the matter is that we live in a world in which progress is propelled by holding a mentality that is based in evidence-based thinking. And so if you have a huge collective amount of people under the illusion that those rules don't apply to a specific aspect of reality, that should be a huge problem.
It is.
You know, and it is, yeah, obviously. And
wait,
Uh-oh.
guys. Sorry to interrupt you, Vince, but
oh,
he's here.
Yeah.
AP himself is saying, "Who's this idiot? What a punchable face! What are you
Wait,
talking about?"
We're gonna get a strike. No, we don't condone violence here, AP. Get out of here.
That's his plan. Sabotage.
But Vince was making an important point against AP.
yeah.
Vince, you
Now that he's
yourself-
here and he could hear me.
Now he's gonna like no, okay, Vince, you were saying.
But it really does matter. And so this is why I focus so much on what it is that people believe rather than what sophisticated theologians believe, where they say, well, most theologians, most of us sophisticated theologians don't believe in hell. I'm not really interested in what you specifically believe if over 90% of Christians do believe in a hell, or if they do believe in something that is patently dangerous to society. That's what I'm mainly focused on. And as I said before, we live in a world where everything that works because of evidence-based thinking, whether we're talking about medicine, technology, scientific revolutions, it is predicated on that idea. And if you have a large portion of people that for some reason hold a blind eye towards the metaphysical world, for some reason that they can't really understand themselves, that's a problem. And we need to address that. So that's why I'm an anti-theist. Even if it's completely harmless, I would still be against it, because I'd be concerned about the ramifications that it would have for future progress.
There is no such thing as a harmless falsehood. And I wasn't so hardcore about my anti-theism until I really sat down and thought about that.
All right. Actually, the reason why Susanna is here now is Susanna discovered Atheist Republic because of my debate with the Apostate Prophet. So the fact that I crushed the apostate in that debate.
I wasn't a debate. You guys were just talking about.
I know, we were just talking. Yeah.
And AP was making me extremely triggered and frustrated with his opinions on Christianity.
I can't imagine Armin not turning it into a debate.
Yes. AP, oh, thank you, AP, for the $10 super chat.
He really hates himself.
Destroy this guy. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I do
Thank
have
you.
to be honest. When I was watching that conversation, I was like, Armin is just so much more consistent on this. You just made a lot more sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
No, but I have to thank the Apostate Prophet for introducing Susanna to because Susanna found Atheist Republic through Apostate Prophet.
Susanna found Muslims because of Apostate Prophet.
Yeah. And now she's the CEO of Atheist Republic. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Yes.
Defined meaning. It's rather an idea that emerged and was shaped over time by people in different ways. We are only talking about the existence of God because we are in a culture and a time where that is important.
Right.
Where believing in God is the norm, where it's relevant. In a different time or place, the question, does God exist, wouldn't even matter. People
Okay, but in this one it should matter. In another one it wouldn't matter, but in this one, I mean, given how so many people believe in this idea, even though just given the nature of the history and the environment they grew up in, so AP is acknowledging that they believe in something that wouldn't have mattered at all in different circumstances, right? So why wouldn't AP be worried about people believing in something so passionately, about something that wouldn't matter to them if they grew up differently? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that should be that's a concern. I think that's a concern, that people have this much emotional investment into something that he himself thinks doesn't even matter. So yeah, Apostate Prophet, it doesn't matter to you, but aren't you worried that this matters? So this God concept that you yourself don't think it's real, don't you think it's a concern that this many people are so emotionally invested in it? Is that not a source of concern?
would wonder why we are talking about this. Even when we are talking about the one God, who is the creator, the shape, the nature, the purpose of this God has changed from time to time and is different between different religions.
Okay,
He
so
has a response.
oh, he has a response. Okay.
AP is saying, of course, my point is that it shouldn't matter. It is an irrelevant question we ask each other. God should not matter. Listen further. No, we're
Okay,
getting there. Clearly,
okay,
this
we're
is how
getting there.
Armin does it.
Yeah, this is how that. But then okay, so but then you're an anti-theist, then, Apostate Prophet. Okay.
No, he said
Because-
so before. He just doesn't
Yeah.
really participate in it.
All right, but anti-theism is not. Anti-theism is basically saying that God shouldn't matter, and the fact that God matters to a whole bunch of people, and us trying to go from God mattering to a whole bunch of people to a world where God doesn't matter to a whole bunch of people is basically anti-theism.
It changes from Judaism to Christianity. It changes from Christianity to Islam massively. In Hinduism, the creator God is a completely different being and doesn't carry the same importance or the same attention. In many East Asian religions, God is not a person, but rather just a force. In Buddhism, there is no eternal creator. In some of these religions, the creator is a conscious, very powerful, independent being that has power over everything. Whereas in other religions, this force or this God is impacted by humans and by beings. In some religions, this God is worshipped, whereas in other religions, he's not worshipped or doesn't have to be worshipped. So when I'm asked, does God exist? Then I think about the biblical one God. But if I thought more universally, then I would say, what do you mean by does God exist? What is God? And why is this question relevant? I think this even puts me into a more peaceful position regarding God, since I'm not out there to fight God. So long story short, I'm certain and I don't believe in one God.
Okay, here's
What?
the thing. Like, I think AP knows this. I'm not gonna deign to say that our prophet is stupid. But I'm not fighting. We're not
prophet.
fighting God because we can't fight something that doesn't exist. We're fighting false
The
beliefs and the flawed epistemologies that lead people to invest their lives and sacrifice pleasures in the only life that they have because of these false beliefs and flawed methodologies of determining what is true and reflected in objective reality.
I think fighting God is the way that Christians phrase what we're doing, right?
Wait.
We're not.
Are we revealing his secret Christian jihad? No. AP is saying, be careful if you're about to disagree with me.
Guys,
he's not in his Medinan phase yet. He's not in his Medinan phase yet.
Apostate, we're not afraid because we're still in the Mecca phase of the Apostate Prophet, right? We'll be worried once you move to the Medini phase, right? But again,
I'm terrified.
No, I think that I think fighting God is the way that so the interesting thing is that Muslims don't phrase it like that because Muslims think a lot of Muslims think it's even saying, uttering the word of fighting God is giving too much credit to people like us. I mean, I don't know. There's a law in Iran that says waging war against Allah. So I guess they do say that. But I heard it mostly from Christians who say like fighting God. And like, no, we're fighting belief in God.
Yeah.
Right? And to us, that matters because belief in God, as the apostate himself admits, is, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? Belief in God doesn't make any sense, and this wouldn't matter to people. So I think the criticism I have is Apostate Prophet keeps switching between him saying God doesn't matter to him to God asking whether there's a God or not in general is not an important question, okay? Because if God doesn't matter to him, okay, well, yeah, that's great. That's what we're fighting for, a world where that's the case for most people. And how, I just want to know, how is it possible for you thinking God is not an important thing that people should believe in, like that you don't believe in, and you're not concerned about living in a world where most of the planet is passionately invested in something so irrelevant. So you yourself, so he keeps switching between God is irrelevant, God shouldn't matter, and then therefore this question shouldn't matter. I mean, the most of the planet believes in this and is passionately making decisions based on this whole concept being real. So just because it's a ridiculous idea, that doesn't mean it's not an idea that we need to be concerned about.
He's saying, if God doesn't exist, why do atheists exist? Big brain, think about it. And then we live in a world.
Yeah,
you got me on that one, AP.
But okay. Yeah, dad vibes, Fatima. Dad vibes are hella sure. Yes, I think AP is making dad jokes because he's like becoming more of a dad than before. So that's why the dad jokes.
It's twice the daddy.
Twice the daddy.
I understand what he's saying though. Yeah, I understand the claim that he's making that question doesn't actually matter. Whether we're talking about ontologically or epistemologically, it doesn't matter and it shouldn't matter. But because so many people are fighting about this question, about what the answer to this question is, and we're suffering for it, it does matter. So we have, yes, we are forced to use our resources on something that shouldn't matter, but it does matter for sociological reasons. And that's the main problem. And so hopefully in the world, 200 years down in the future, that's way too optimistic, 2,000 years in the future, maybe then that question will no longer matter, but it matters now. And so anti-theism.
It matters a lot to me because I talk to children who are being abused viciously. I have to see the evidence of it justified by this belief.
Right.
So
It might
really
actually
matters
matter.
to me.
It actually might even matter as a teaching mechanism if we're trying to teach children how to understand things properly and how to learn how to know things. We can actually provide that, does a God exist? Well, okay, what is the evidence for them? And so they can actually learn the steps of proper logic. Maybe it might matter in that instance.
Okay. AP is clarifying. My statement is only whether it philosophically, existentially matters or not. Okay. Whether it matters to society is a different matter.
Okay, but the fact that but that is anti-theism. Anti-theism is not that. But philosophically, it only matters because so many people believe in it. I mean, you don't feel. I guess philosophically. I mean, do you philosophically go consider ideas that nobody believes in? I guess you do. So yeah, fine. But anti-theism only requires you to be worried about, how the societal impact of an idea. Anti-theism is about pushing people to a place where God doesn't matter. Right? Anyways.
I think he said in discussion with you before that he agrees completely with anti-theism. He just doesn't really push it himself.
Yes, and he's not saying that other people should. I just wish. Okay, so he says that he doesn't push it. He does say he likes other people questioning God. He likes other people questioning God. Even though he's kind of doing anti-theism, right? But sometimes he also suggests that he doesn't see the point. But the point is, so many. We'll see. Let's see if he says
Well,
it here.
if he's saying forget about it, let's discuss this on a stream.
Okay, what? All right, I'll continue.
who spread the idea that God doesn't exist. And when it comes to the one God, then I am certainly an atheist. I don't believe that he exists. But if we want to talk about a force in the universe or whatever you mean, then I will say it doesn't really matter. And you and I are both equally ignorant. It doesn't matter what you are or what I am. But okay,
it doesn't matter because your God is basically the God that you believe in, the deistic God, is very, 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 very close to a God that doesn't even exist. Okay, so this God doesn't even matter whether it's real or not. It's because it's indistinguishable for a God that doesn't exist. But again, just because it doesn't matter, that doesn't mean that your belief in it doesn't matter. Okay, again, it's very possible that there's a definition of a God that you cannot disprove or prove, and this God does not matter. And the fact that this God doesn't matter doesn't mean that people being convinced 100% that this God is real, it doesn't translate to the fact that that doesn't matter, right?
I think and AP, correct me if I'm wrong in what you're saying, but is this sort of the same mentality of if a hypothesis is unfalsifiable, we shouldn't really care that much about it? So in the same way that we don't really care about whether or not we live in a simulation, because as far as we're concerned, we only have mathematical arguments. We can't really come up with an actual testing mechanism to determine that. It's the same thing with God. So we really shouldn't be too concerned about it.
That's a very good, actually, Vince, that's a very good example. Okay, so let's say that somebody says we live in a matrix, like we live in a simulation, right? And they come up with the way a simulation that we exist in, and they claim they have this claim that there's no way to prove that they're right. But let's say they carefully constructed in a way there's also no way to disprove that they're right. Okay, so they come up with this theory that we're all brains and vats, and they very careful. Their argument is so airtight that there's no way for me to disprove them that they're wrong. Okay, so I will tell them like, okay, listen, I cannot disprove that what you're telling me is wrong, but given that your claim is indistinguishable from a world that your claim is not real, like it's like there's no way for us to prove or disprove your claim, we shouldn't be taking it seriously because it's indistinguishable from the world, from saying that this world is real and we live in a real world and that we're not brains and math. So it doesn't matter. Okay, you could say it doesn't matter, but if all of a sudden this person who had made a claim that cannot be proven or disproven is now convinced that we're living in matrix or we're brains and vats, he's like, beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm convinced. You're saying like, dude, it doesn't matter which one it is, they're indistinguishable. But now he himself is convinced, and he's like, I need to break out of the system. We need to kick, we're brains and vats. I need to somehow get out of this vat. We need to like do something about it. Like now all of a sudden matters. Okay, the idea itself shouldn't matter, but now that this person is convinced about an idea without any evidence, and now it's getting other people to be convinced about this idea without any evidence, now all of a sudden it becomes an issue. So you see how the idea not mattering doesn't translate to people believing in it not mattering. These are two separate things, and I think sometimes a lot of people jump from the idea not mattering to all of a sudden concluding to also we shouldn't be fighting it. Well, we should be fighting it because so many people believe in it. All right. Does that make
sense? It doesn't matter whether it matters.
Okay. I'm pretty sure AP the dad jokes are going to be like tripled once he has the third child.
Is it a dad joke or is it like some freaking big brain moment? Who knows?
Oh yeah, big brain moment.
Let me come to the.
What do you think? What do you guys agree? I mean, it would be worrisome if so many people believed we're in the Matrix. 100%. They're not saying that, oh, we can't prove that we live in the Matrix, but it could be true. No, that's not what they're saying. Okay, they're saying like we are sure, 100% sure that we live in the Matrix. Where's your evidence? I don't have any evidence, but I'm 100% sure, and we need to do something about it. I'm like, okay, you guys are crazy now, and this is a problem.
The topic, why I don't believe in God. I think one of the most problematic things for
Yeah, guys, who's timing out people here? I don't understand. Who did the timing out? Please do not time out people. Who do not over admin here if there's no spamming going on.
We
me,
literally only do it for spamming.
was to look at a map of the distribution of religious groups and to think a little bit further about that. In fact, I'll do it right here.
Okay, guys, I think I want to do this one in the second video because we went like 4 minutes of this video in 1 hour. Okay.
Well, you had like a 30-minute preamble, so
Yes. But this deserves its own. This whole going through the map section deserves its own video. And I'm gonna later today. I'm gonna do the injustice of God area. I think you guys wouldn't be for that, but I do want to go over the map through its own live stream. So I think like the idea of God mattering or not, that's the topic of this live stream. Ooh, what did I do? Hold on.
wow.
All right.
Calm down. You know, the example I give to people. Okay, so here's the thing. I understand the argument that people, Apostate Prophet makes about, you know, make two examples. One in favor of Apostate Prophet's point, and another in favor of my point. Okay. The example I'm making against for Apostate Prophet points is like it's a Game of Thrones example, right? Like we're worried about internal politics and ideologies. Is it the children of the forest? Oh wait, what was the North religion? The tree people, okay? Whether you believe in the seven or the fire god or the tree god, okay? Like, is that some people? And then who's gonna land on the Iron Throne? You know, people keep having these conflicts with each other, but then you have the army of the dead coming from the north, and it really doesn't matter which one of these ideologies are true or who's gonna end up on the Iron Throne once the army of dead is here. Okay, we're all gonna be like, there's like a major threat coming at the world, and you guys are having discussions about something so small and so pathetic that you're losing sight of what's the real threat is, right?
So what you were thinking of was White Walkers.
Yes, White Walkers. No, wait, White Walkers are just the generals in the army. There's the dead people. The White Walkers just lead the army of the dead people.
Oh, I thought that was the name of like the race.
No, not all of them are White Walkers. Okay.
But AP is saying the next 10 minutes of the video are based on the idea that religion totally depends on geography and time. Yep, cruelty of God is much later, and cruelty of God is what Armin is doing in 12 hours.
Yeah, in 12 hours. No, but yeah, I thought I'm gonna do the first part and the geography today, but apparently we have so much to say that we only did. So the geography part needs to be its own separate live stream. Okay.
You have so much to say.
No, but but the people like Apostate Prophet who are concerned with Islam, I think they're looking at us and like, you guys are like wasting time. We're with it. I mean, Islam is like such a major threat that none of these discussions are going to matter if Islam takes over, right? I just don't think Islam is ever going to take over. Am I being... No, I just think like
not with that attitude, it won't.
I don't know. I think Islam is the number one threat to the number one ideological threat to the world, definitely by a huge margin. Okay, There are other threats that are bigger than Islam. I don't know, like global warming or AI, or diseases, right? But when it comes to ideological threats, Islam is number one. Okay, but if everybody just wants to talk about the number one threat, ideological threat to the world, then nobody gets to like, are we not going to? I mean, Apostate Prophet himself is worried about the influence of media, of pop culture on people's lives, right? Does Apostate Prophet think that that is as great of a threat as Islam? I bet you not,
No.
right? Aw,
You guys are a bunch of nerds.
love
Just
you
kidding,
guys.
love you guys. We love our prophet.
Right,
Go
but
subscribe to Apostate Prophet, you guys. if you're not, what are you doing?
do we even need to tell people to subscribe to Apostate? I'm
That's
assuming
what I'm
everybody.
thinking. Like,
I'm assuming everyone. Okay, so he's not worried. He's annoyed. Okay, but you
Yeah,
talk
I get
about
that.
it. I mean, you're annoyed enough.
Children. No, I'm kidding.
No, but I mean, there are. I know there are like communism is a threat. I think to the world, right? Are we
Yes.
not going to talk about it because Islam is the greatest threat to the world ideologically, right? And also, it really depends on the location as well. Like, I think, for example, I don't know if Apostate Prophet agrees with this or not. I think Islam is the greatest ideological threat to the planet. But if we focus on the United States, for example, I think
Yeah.
Christianity is a much greater threat to United States secularism and values and ideas than Islam is, right? I think if you focus, I know this is going to be controversial. I don't think Apostate Prophet would agree with this and this, but I think if you focus on Israel, the threat Judaism is a much greater threat in Israel right now to its secular values and to its politics than Islam would be ever, right? If you focus on India, for example, I think the Hindutva ideology is a greater threat to India right now than
got so
Islam
triggered. Like, it's
right?
Hinduism.
Yes. So these are greater threats in these countries than Islam. Globally, Islam is the greatest threat by a huge margin. But I don't think that, I mean, if we all want to talk about the greatest threat and only the greatest threat, then nobody would be able to have any conversation about anything else, right? I mean, do we go to people who are like, when people come to me, when I go attack Christianity, right? Wait, globally the greatest threat is quite
He's right. It's the wet ass P word.
I'm gonna finish my point. Okay, we don't. If an activist in Spain, okay, is Susanna, are you with us? Okay, if an activist in Spain goes out and tries to fight against abuses against pets, right? They're like, a lot of pet owners are abusing their pets. And this activist, she really cares about this. In Spain, for example, I'm just randomly coming up with an activism and a country, okay? And she is like, I'm going to dedicate my life to saving pets from abusive owners. Do we go to this do we go to this owner and say, dude, what about Islam? Like, why do you highlighting and this issue when we need to worry about Islam? Islam is like a much more significant cause to society than some pet owners abusing their pets. That doesn't make any sense. We don't do that, right? We say like, oh yeah, this is a worthy cause. Good luck to you. But all of a sudden, when we like, guys, Christianity is a major threat. Christianity is ruining people's lives. Is it ruining people's lives as much as Islam? No, not even close. But for some reason, when we talk about the way Christianity is ruining people's lives, people come to us and be like, well, Islam is much worse. Like, okay, God, yeah, it is. But this is also important. I mean, the idea of believing in God as a whole, not just God, even in Buddhism and Hinduism, believing that you get a second shot at life, that idea as a whole is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
The idea that you get a second shot at life, I mean, the most important thing that we have, the most important asset that we have right now that we shouldn't be wasting, that we should be taking advantage every second of it, is time. Given that we're not going to get any of it back ever, right? The fact that you knowing that this is the only shot that you get at happiness is a very important information that most people need to be clear about. That there's no do-overs. That if you fail at achieving happiness, this one shot that you get, there's not going to be a second opportunity. Knowing that information, I think it's a huge betrayal to humanity to try to convince them of anything else. Imagine how big of a stab in the back you would feel like it is to a whole bunch of people if you felt that it wasn't important for you, if they all of a sudden get convinced that this is the only shot at life that they get, and they realize that you knew this and you didn't feel that it's important for you to tell them that. Like
literally, I basically caused someone to apostatize today. And they were like, basically, yeah. And they were like, I can't believe that I spent so much time on this. And what you're telling me is that it's not true? I'm like,
wait, from what religion?
Islam.
Okay, no, you're okay. That doesn't help my case. Okay.
Oh, wait, I gotta go. My little brother's here. I'll come back if I can.
Okay. So I think like if the one reason we care about Islam more than other religion is because of the cost it has to the rest of us. Okay, but I think if we care about humans and the cost to themselves, then if they are under this illusion that this is not the only life they get, I think we owe it to them to make them reconsider that position. And that doesn't even come with just a belief in God. That's also reincarnation. That's also Buddhism. That's also believing in enlightenment in Buddhism, reincarnation in Buddhism and Hinduism. That's one of the most dangerous ideas out there. The idea that this is not the only life we get. I mean, everything we do, everything everybody does is to maximize happiness for themselves and other people. I think the information on whether this is the only shot that we get, or whether we get other shot, or whether there's an afterlife, that most of our happiness and sadness is going to be invested in that one, I think that's a very important part of this equation that more people need to be, even if they get the wrong conclusion, I think we owe it to them to give them the ammunition and also all the skepticism they require to make as much as an informed decision as they possibly can on this. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the selfless part of anti-theism, where a lot of people who think of anti-theism and think about prominent anti-theist leaders, they usually speak in the language of these people are causing harm to us or something close to that. But I think we can actually make really strong arguments using the same logic that you did. Whereas what happens if someone loses the belief that there is a second chance, that they're going to be able to see their family in the afterlife? What happens to the amount of time that they spend with their family now? What happens to the amount of chances that they take in life? Those are things that are going to be increased, amplified. When I lost my faith and I no longer believed that I was going to see my family in the afterlife and that this was all they have. My parents are pretty old, unfortunately. They had me pretty late. So I don't have that much longer with them. And if I still believed in religion, if I still believed in an afterlife, I wouldn't be spending anywhere near as much time I am with them now than I would be if I believed in an afterlife. So losing my faith, and we can even like use this as an argument to people individually, you would probably enjoy your life now much more than you think so. Sure, it's a band-aid that you're going to rip off, and realizing that everything that you learned, that you've known for your entire life is wrong really hurts. And it really is a kick in the balls. I mean, at least it was for me when I first realized it. But I promise you later on, it's going to be so much better. Your life is going to be so much better. You're no longer going to have moral dilemmas. Like, is playing Grand Theft Auto sinful? You're no longer going to think silly things like those. And you're also going to be able to spend so much time now with your family. You're going to be able to appreciate things now way more than you otherwise would have. At the very least, that's what happened to me. So I think that is an argument. The one that you laid out is a pretty good one, and it's an important one, and it's one that not many people use, because most people say, oh, religion is harmful to society for yada, yada, yada. But very rarely will you focus on the actual individual in the way that you focus on the individual. So I think that's really good.
Wait, somebody in the live chat is doing love jihad on me. Is
Oh,
it?
nice.
Nice. Sarah, I will convert to Islam if you're single.
Well, it depends on how she looks like.
Yeah, actually, yeah. She looks like a telephone.
Okay. I didn't see the image. So I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. No, okay, so here's a question for you, Vince. If, let's say you were a Christian, okay, and I'm an atheist, okay, and you're dedicating a lot of time, let's say you have kids, and you're spending time in church instead of spending time with them, and you're praying a lot, and you're making decisions based on the fact that you think God is real. And I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any of that. And we're friends. And I'm just like, I'm just going to not bother telling you why I think all of that is nonsense, right? I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'm not going to ruin our friendship. I'm just not going to tell you, okay? But 10 years, we go being like this for 10 years, okay? You keep trying to convert me to Christianity, but I don't even bother. I'm like, I don't want to have that conversation with you. I don't believe in any of this because there's no evidence, but I don't even push you even a little bit ever, okay? Because I value our friendship, and I want you to just, you're not harming me. So I'm just going to let you believe what you want, and I'm not going to even you're even giving me the green light to have this discussion. Like, it's not like I'm pushing anything on you, right? You're even giving me the permission to talk to you about it. You want to have a conversation, but I'm like, it's okay. Who gives a crap? It's Christianity. It's not as harmful as Islam, right? So I won't tell you anything, right? Mm-hmm. But 10 years go on like this. I know one day you decide, because you want to convert me to Christianity, you're gonna go read up on atheism so you could help me, because we're getting old and we're getting close to death, and you're just worried about going to heaven, and you're not gonna have your buddy there with you in heaven, and you're worried about my soul, and you're just like now gonna go study and why people become atheists and stuff, and you start picking up all these books and you start reading on it, and you all of a sudden start doubting your religion because of all these books, and 2 years of researching, all of a sudden you're an atheist, right? Mm-hmm. And you come to me and you're like, I don't believe in God or anything like that. I'm an atheist now, okay? I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, that's amazing. But wouldn't you be angry with me that in the past 10 years, you spent so much time and resources and energy and time away from your family, and you made this life-changing decisions based on a belief that God is real, and when you believe Christianity is real, you as a friend cared enough to want to save me so I don't burn in hell, but I as a friend did not care for all the time and energy and wrong decisions that you made based on a belief in God. I, as a friend, did not care enough to even attempt to suggest to you to maybe reconsider even a tiny bit. Would you not be a bit angry that I let you go for 10 years believing in this nonsense?
If it was someone like you, who is pretty fluent in morality and utilitarianism, yeah, I would. because based on what you've told me, from what your moral framework is, then you want to increase the well-being of society, decrease the level of suffering. And I don't think having a conversation about religion with me would really be too disastrous for yourself. It's not like you're going vegan, right? You're not decreasing your own personal happiness for something like that. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty easy thing to do. Just have a conversation with me. So I would be angry with you, actually. I'd probably get over it, obviously, because in order to increase my happiness, I want to keep your friendship. But if it was someone just off the block who doesn't really, he's an atheist maybe just by happenstance. He maybe only read a few books, probably only watched a few videos. Not really, because in order for me to apply a normative claim on something like that, he would have to understand morality. And if it's just your normal Joe, they don't really think too deeply about these issues. They don't really, understand what utilitarianism is, what a Kantian view of morality is. They're pretty vanilla about this sort of stuff. But if it was someone like you, I think I would be.
I mean, why wouldn't you be more angry? Like imagine all the hours.
Why wouldn't I be yell my head off for you for about a week, or for how
No,
I would be
would
angry
you...
initially. I would be angry initially.
No, would be like, dude, I wasted years of my life on this.
Mm-hmm.
I wasted years of my life on this. They're like, but it wasn't as bad as Islam. Yeah, but dude, it impacted my life personally. You know how many decisions I made based on this being real? Do you know? My daughter was a lesbian, and I made her marry a man, and I could have. We went. You know how many hours we spent in church?
All right, that's a variable that you just put in. That's like a huge. That makes it a much bigger deal.
I mean, I know, but the decisions based on, again, there are many consequences to making decisions based on a false sense of reality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right, you said I spent hours and hours in church. I spent hours praying at home. Who's going to give me those hours back?
But that person didn't know the rules of the game. They didn't know the rules of morality, and we are reacting in a way that I think you should only throw at someone who did know the rules. Yeah, you should be angry. Probably it's annoying. It's good, but they didn't really know any better, and you didn't know better either. This person isn't someone who is fluent in morality. They just react based on their own personal intuitions, and what their personal intuitions tell them is that it's rude to try to, convert someone out of their religion. What he would probably view me trying to convert him as rude, but him being the better person in his mind, he wouldn't try to do the same thing. So I think it's a bit too much to go crazy about it. But I would go crazy about it if it was you, who does know better. Imagine
Sarah is trying to get me to convert back to Islam.
Ooh, for 30,000 subscribers, I'll do it.
30,000 subscribers. Guys, get us to 30,000 subscribers. Subscribe so I don't have to convert back to Islam.
Mm-hmm. Get me at 1,000. I'm 13 subscribers away from 1,000.
Oh, yes, Vince. Vince will convert to Islam if you didn't get him to... Guys,
wait, I said 30,000 for convert to Islam. For 1,000, I'll think about it.
No, guys, go subscribe to Vince, or else he's going to consider Islam. Mm-hmm. What's your channel's name again?
The Babylon Project. I will type something in the chat. 13 more subs and I get 1,000.
Sarah, oh yeah, here's the channel's name and logo. Go check it out. Sarah, I'm trying to see what I can get Sarah to do for me to consider Islam. I'm really tempted to say stuff that could get me strikes on this channel.
So let me finish off what I was saying with another aspect of this, right? Where, yes, let's say the reason why I'm angry with you for not converting me is because you weren't able to maximize my happiness before that, right? And so now I'm reacting emotionally to the fact that you couldn't maximize my happiness. But in the same way, I want to keep that friendship because I love being friends with you. So if I want to maximize my happiness in the future, from now on into the future, whatever time I have left, because I'm old at this point, then I wouldn't want to be mad with you for that much longer. I would want to keep that friendship. And if I'm angry with you sufficiently enough, you're probably not want to get to be my friend. So playing the maximization of happiness game, it would be in my best interest to not be as mad at you as you would expect me to be.
Hey, for how many subscribers would you wear the hijab on your channel, Vince?
I'll wear it tomorrow on my live stream. Actually,
Wait, how many?
wait,
For for free for no subscribers? No, you have to make it the.
Yeah, wait. I'd have to buy it anyways. Okay. Like a full-on
Oh,
stream
okay.
because I stream on weekends, so I could.
Okay, Sarah, you go away. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll think about it. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah, do it. Should I wear the hijab for a certain number of subscribers on this channel?
This is the weirdest subscriber goals.
I told people I'm gonna get really, really drunk for 30,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's right. We were supposed to get really, really drunk when you were going to come visit, but COVID had to ruin everything. Vincent is
Vincent,
second person that asked me that.
Vincent is
ex-Catholic.
Ex-Catholic. I don't know. I don't like cross-dressing.
Mm.
Just
I don't
ask
know
me
about
for
that
something else. Ask me something else. For 30,000 subscribers, I'm gonna get drunk. For 50,000 subscribers, I don't know, something else.
Would you be able to live stream from a church somehow? Or
For
something like that?
50,000 subscribers, I would do the salat. How about that? I will do a full-on Islamic prayer from start to finish. I would do it for 50,000 subscribers. I would do an instruction video on how to do the Islamic prayer in the Shia and Sunni version. How about that? No hijabi Armin. No. No. All right, guys. God is fake. Snap out of it. It's the 21st century. How do you guys still believe in this? This is the only miracle I believe in. Okay. The only miracle I believe in is the fact that this many morons still believe this crap. I don't understand how is that possible. I mean, it's like the more I think about it, the more amazed I get. Like there must be like the only evidence for anything supernatural is the fact that it's physically, it doesn't seem like natural possible for this many people to be this dumb. There needs to be some supernatural forces at play here, okay? How could this many people believe in God? Like, it just doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, I mean, every once in a while, I'm always like, is this like, this must be like, how is this possible? How is it possible? But then I see like QAnon, and I see like people thinking that Trump is going to win still, okay? Vince, still. I'm following content creators, okay, right now, of people who are absolutely sure that Trump is going to have a second term. That's how dumb people are, okay?
I am friendly with one person who does think that.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Okay?
Amazing. Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson's amazing. Just yesterday, I was watching a live stream, and it was with 3 popular content creators, far-right content creators. And they were, talking about really crazy, stuff, the J people. But then they started arguing for the existence of God. And one of them said something that I just, in my head, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Where she said, I think that what he does is that all the evidence that points against him, that's Satan just pushing, just changing things a little bit in like the laws of nature or something. And it is, it's confusing us because we're like, oh my God, the evidence points against it. That's just Satan confusing us. I'm like, this is like, oh my God, like what happened in their lives that makes them think like this? I don't understand how to even tackle these people. So it really frustrates me.
Yeah, when I go to a church and see people like praying and stuff, I always feel like this is like cavemen. Like you going like around the fire and like throwing sacrifices into a fire or something. Like this is like, how is this any like different? Like this is like, I mean, I feel like, am I the same species as these people? Like, is that too? I don't know. Like,
all right,
like,
careful.
No, no. I mean, I wonder, like, how is it that, like, we have a small fraction of society who's responsible for taking us to the goddamn moon and figuring out, like, we have managed to figure out what happened like a millisecond after the Big Bang. Like, we're like, oh yeah, this happened, not that. Like, we managed to figure that stuff out. And then, but most of the planet still believes, like, that, yeah, we came from magic. And that, like, oh yeah, there was this carpenter who was nailed to a cross, who's like the creator of the whole goddamn universe, that died 2,000 years ago. And that, oh yeah, Prophet Muhammad cut the moon in half. Like, what are you doing? Like, how is this even real? Like, how is this any of this? Like, how are we still this far behind? Like, how is that? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But
it
guys,
really
yes,
just goes to show you.
Yeah.
Just very quick. Yeah, it really just goes to show you the variance of people on this planet, where on one end you have people who have split the atom, who have understood the quantum mechanics, who have gotten people off this planet onto the moon, and on the other hand you have people praying multiple times a day and not eating specific food because they think it's dirty. So it really just goes to show you, there's clearly a big gap here in what our species is capable of doing, and we got to make sure that the right people are in power.
All right, so let's end this here. I just need to say that, fine, Soha, where's Soha's comment? I'm going to do this. 50,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a hijab, even though I don't want to, but I'll do it for you guys, okay? 50K subscribers. Oh, I'm going to wear the hijab. And 100K subscribers, I'm going to do the Salah. I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. So the Sunni version and the Shia version. And we're going to talk about the origins of why they're different as well. At 30K, I'm going to get drunk. No, 30K, that's too far. At 30K, I'm going to get really drunk, and we're going to do a drunk live stream.
Oh, sweet. That's what I'm doing at 1K, actually.
Yes. 50K.
Yeah. Yes.
50K. 50K, I'll wear the hijab.
Okay. That's exciting. I'm really excited.
So make sure you subscribe then. All right? Cool. All right, guys, check out that. I mean, I'm tempted to say go subscribe to Apostate Prophet, but if you're not already, then I don't know, there's something wrong with you. Right? So go subscribe to the Apostate Prophet. It is the leading channel in taking down Islam. I know he's like, I know AP acts like humble and all. Like, no, I don't think I'm making any difference. He's making a lot of difference, okay? Like, yeah, I don't think this matters. It's going to make any changes. Like, dude, what are you okay, he's being all humble and stuff, okay? Don't pay attention to him. Just go subscribe to him, okay? Don't pay attention. It is the leading channel against Islam, okay? So go support that. Secular Proton is saying, I'm drunk right now. I just had a breakup. Oh, Secular Proton. Guys, do not touch the super chats when you're drunk, okay? You might regret it later, okay? Do not super chat us when you're drunk, okay? But I'm sorry, Secular Proton. I could tell you one thing. Every time I had a breakup, it seemed like really bad at the time, but when every time I meet the next person, you were like, I'm so glad I went through a breakup because now I meet this person now, right? So it always ends up being so much better than what you imagined, okay? So, yes, subscribe. Time to make the sound. Okay. Yes, guys, get us to 50. Go share this channel so we get to 50,000 subscribers. Oh, my God. Okay, Sarah is a Muslim who's telling you to unsubscribe to Apis. So that means that Apis, by the way, is the name they have for Apostate Prophet. Okay. Oops. So that means that Sarah, who's a Muslim, sees Apostate Prophet as a threat, right? So that shows you why you need to go subscribe to Apostate Prophet, right? Because Sarah here is admitting that they're worried about the Apostate Prophet channel. Okay. So this shows this reason right here, this comment right here is exactly why you need to subscribe to Apostate Prophet. All right, Susanna, we promised people that I'm going to be wearing the hijab at 50,000 subscribers. You're muted. I can't hear you. but you're laughing.
Yeah. Facial expressions consistent with laughter.
Guys, Vince is 10 subs away. 10 subs away from
Oh.
what?
From 1,000 subscribers?
Hmm.
I'm 11
Oh,
subs
and guys, I don't know where Susanna went. And guys, get us. Oh, Susanna is back. Guys, we are at 200 patrons, like 200, 0200. So make sure you become a patron so that we're not this borderline 200, because we need to be above 200 to do our weekly blasphemous art. So link in the description. We have Vince, did you see the sketch of the new, the next blasphemous art?
I've seen a few sketches. The one I saw probably was an old one.
Did you see this one?
Let's see. Oh.
People pick the left one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, really? They picked the left one? These are both males? One male,
No.
one female?
This is going to be Hindu goddess Kali, and this is going to be Prophet
gotcha.
Muhammad. More
Ooh.
arms will be added to Hindu goddess Kali. This will be Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, and so the people voted for the left one. So this is our next blasphemous art, which is going to be Hindu goddess Kali and Prophet Muhammad doing some BDSM with each other. And we the reason why the sketch for the next one came so early is because we reached 200 patrons, and we promised people that our blasphemous art is going to be once every week now that we are 200 patrons. But we're like borderline, guys. Every end of the month we lose a few patrons, right? So at the end of this month we're going to go a bit below 200. So for us to be able to continue doing blasphemous art every single week, consider becoming a patron so that we're comfortably above 200, so we could do this every single week. Okay, if that happens with all patron accounts, you gain throughout the month, and then you lose a fraction of them by end of the month. Okay, but we need to stay above 200 to do this blasphemous art every week. So help us get there and help us stay there. Susanna, you're still muted. Do you want to say anything?
She's
so frustrated. I get it. Oh, so frustrated. How is it that you guys never get your audio stuff right?
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
look at her face. She's so sad.
I was invited last second. All right. Last second I was invited. And for some reason, it's only with you guys that my Yeti mic doesn't work. It works perfectly with everyone else on StreamYard. For some reason, Atheist Republic hates Yeti mics. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Babylon. There's a game called Babylon Project that is like pretty pornographic. So that's not me. Just type in full Babylon Project.
Yes. Oh, poor Susie. Oh, confused. He didn't say, I wish I could be a patron, but I got no money. Do not be a patron if you're struggling financially. Again, do not. You just like this video, and that really helps us, okay? If you like this video, it really boosts the algorithm and it helps us, okay? So do not support us financially. It gets us, you liking this video gets us more patrons, okay? So you are actually supporting us financially without spending any money. By liking and sharing this video, our channel grows more, and it will get to it gets in front of people who are able to support us financially. So you will be responsible for us having more financial support without you spending any money. Okay. So if you can't be a patron, just like and subscribe and share the video. Okay. Okay. Susanna, it's like one last effort before we go.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
God is
I don't
real.
know what's wrong.
Oh, look at this. Sarah wants me dead.
How do we
Sarah,
do?
like, oof, Susan.
All right.
Sarah is like,
That's what we're
evil.
fighting.
Yes,
Yeah.
look at this. Sarah, you're not a very good representative for Muslims if you want me dead like this.
And I think Sarah is a convert, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, convert to... Wow, you're a convert to Islam and you still managed to become this evil, this fast? Like, this, guys, this is how...
I could be wrong.
I know.
No, the recruiter must have been really good.
Guys, Sarah is showing to us how dangerous Islam could be. That you want actually people who you don't like dead. Wow. Sarah, if I was a Muslim, I would be like, Sarah, if I was a Muslim, I would be like, Sarah, you're embarrassing Islam. Sarah, stop. Sarah, like, people like, if Muslims here, guys, Muslims, come take Sarah away. This doesn't look good for you guys. This doesn't, somebody come.
She was more explicit about it before.
Right. Oh my god. Guys, oh yes, Fatima mentioning our Discord server. Guys, our Discord server is really, really fun. Join our Discord server. That's where you see the live chat, having fun here and talking with each other. Okay, go
Even debating theists. It happened.
debating. Yes, Sarah was there apparently.
Yep.
Go
We had
join our
some-
Discord. All the fun continues when the live stream is over. All the fun continues in the Discord. So even when we're not live with the community, okay. So go join. Susanna is there. Fatima is there. All the people in the live chat are there. So go join the Discord and have conversations there.
She flat out said, when Islam takes over, Susanna pays jizya, but Armin will be no more. Yeah, I saw that earlier. But I
Aw.
don't think I would even be allowed to pay jizya. I think I would be no more as well, given the level of my blasphemy. And I'm actively spreading corruption in the land, so...
All right, let's end this here.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Guys, subscribe to Apostate Prophet. Okay. Subscribe to Apostate Prophet. Subscribe to Vince, the Babylon Project. But more importantly, subscribe to Atheist Republic. Yeah, okay, go. And subscribe, everyone! Every single one of you is watching. Subscribe. Do it now. Do it now.